Good afternoon and welcome to the Red Mic. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing okay. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons and a few business lessons too that I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scout volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: getting too big for your britches, overshooting the runway, getting too big to fail. All of these kind of things. There's a paradox of universal specialness and the impact that it can have on perceived value. And because of that, there's a direct connection between increased accessibility and decreased exclusivity. And there's an importance of needing to maintain differentiation to preserve your value. What do I mean by all that? Well, TSA recently announced that TSA PreCheck, which I'm sure you know is the ever popular expedited security program where you can skip the lines and keep your shoes on and all of that. Well, TSA PreCheck has now reached a new record of about 20 million users. Now, I saw this on LinkedIn, and a college friend of mine, a guy named Phil Thames, he said, this can't be good for road warriors. And my comment was, well, if everybody has it, then no one does. So that's that's the paradox of universal specialness, right? Um, it's like Yogi Berra said, yeah, no one goes there anymore. It's too crowded, right? Well, okay. The cost for TSA PreCheck is $85 for new applicants and $70 for renewals. So let's just average it out and say, let's say $77.50. That's probably not exactly right, but it's a big ballpark, right? So the ballpark number, let's figure that out. 20 million times 77.50. That's about $1.55 billion. Billion with a B. Billions and billions of dollars a year generated just from TSA PreCheck. Now, TSA's total budget, thank you, fellow Americans, TSA's total budget's about 11.2 billion. Now, of course, that 1.55 comes off the top, and the rest of it comes from you and me and other fees and taxes and all that sort of stuff. So I don't travel enough, frankly, to see the value in it. Yeah, that means every time I do travel, I'm waiting in line, I'm taking my shoes off, and I'm, walking up and having to do the standing in the thing and doing this and all of those sort of things that you have to do when you don't use TSA PreCheck. Sorry about that. Turk is being a little bratty over there. So, I apologize. Turk, hush. So, the question is it a luxury that has turned commodity? And what other things move that direction? Now, I saw a thing online one time where someone said, when cars first came out, only rich people had them and everybody had horses. Well, now only rich people have horses and everybody has cars. When I was a kid, American Express cards only had one color and it was green. Now there's all sorts of shades, but the one that, is universally known as the card to have is the no limit invitation only centurion level black card, right? But even the credit card companies have, like American Express, have figured out that there's a consequence of increased membership. They had to invest in customer education. Why do you need these other cards? What's the value? How do you figure out the cost benefit of whether or not you want to get one of those higher tiered cards? The same thing might be coming up. I mean, I saw a lot of people online discussing, well, that just means that TSA PreCheck is going to end up going to different levels, Yeah, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others, right? Uh, Animal Farm, Brave New World, 1984, they're all playing in my head today, so I had to say that. So, TSA pre-check, they need to think about this. It's not there yet. I talked to a buddy of mine, a guy named Steve Lockoff, uh, ad guru here in Central Texas. He's a big volunteer with the Austin Rodeo and soon to be a multimedia maven. And that's not my announcement to make, so I'm going to let Steve tell you about that at some point. But TSA needs to keep all this in mind. Things are safe now, according to Steve. He got, in fact, he's at the airport right now, and told me that it only took him about 5 minutes to get through pre-check, but he did notice that the clear lines, which completely different animal, were significantly longer. So, and he said, depending on which, and he has both, and depending on whichever line is looking better, that's the one he goes to, because he's a big traveler. He travels a lot. So, the benefit of those programs are still there, which is why people are coughing up that average of 77.50 a year in order to keep it. But if pre-check lines get longer as more and more people add the service, that's going to be a decreased value in that membership. And if the exclusive nature of pre-check is reduced, that could lead to decreased satisfaction among existing members. They may want, higher tiers. They may be willing to pay for higher tiers. I don't think the popularity of the program is going to go away. People are still going to use it because if the question is, okay, I don't have to take off my shoes every time I go and I travel a lot, and it's going to be a little bit faster at least, yeah, I'll pay for a little bit faster. Currently it's a lot faster, but who knows where that's going to go. So let's say they add tiered benefits or additional perks for higher paying members. At that point, they're going to need to take in mind again what the credit card companies did. Overly complicated tier systems can confuse your customers, can make it difficult for them to understand the value proposition of going to one of those higher levels, might require them to upgrade their IT systems to accommodate the different tiers and the associated benefits that those higher, more robust levels include. So, you're not there yet, TSA, but there is a new day dawning, and who knows when that might be in your future. So, other things, computers. 2-3 decades ago, nobody had computers. Now everybody does. I mean, shoot, between desktops and laptops and carrying around the one that you communicate with the world, smartphones, all of that. The increased popularity of TSA PreCheck is a classic case of a luxury becoming more and more mainstream. And then the question is just how are they going to deal with those growing pains? Ask yourself that in your business. Where are your pain points related to your growth? And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. Hope you found it helpful. I hope you'll be back again on Monday. I hope you have a good weekend. In the meantime, I hope you will give me a like, a follow, and a share, whether it's here on Facebook or any of the other platforms that I'm on. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Rumble, I'm on Audible, iHeartRadio, Instagram. What else? What am I leaving out? Oh, yeah, Spotify. So, Red Mike Messages. Look for it. We'll see you Monday about this same time, and I hope you have a good weekend. And remember, life is short. Drink the bourbon.